Thank you so much for joining us on Insight today. My name is Lawrence Umoette. Ramadan Kareem to all our Muslim brothers and sisters as we welcome you to yet another edition of Insight, the last for the week. 2 more governorship election results have been released since our last time on the program. Dr. Alex Oti of the Labour Party is now governor-elect in Abia State, while Peter Mba of the PDP has been announced as winner in Enugu. For now, Adamawa and Kebbi states will have to await a new directive of INEC following the inconclusive nature of the election there. And so, today we'll conclude our review of the governorship and state assemblies election. And my guest is Dr. Oladipo Akinreti. Dr. Akinreti is the Deputy Director, Digital Media Voice of Nigeria, and is also a former chairman of the Lagos State chapter of the Nigeria Union of Journalists. Doctor, thank you for joining us on Insight.
Good morning.
Okay. Yes.
Good morning, Lauren.
Good morning.
Good morning, listeners.
Good morning, Dr. Akinreti. And you can be part of this program by joining our live stream on YouTube. Simply type in Citizen FM 93.7. And you can also listen to us online on www.citizenfm.ng. Our social media platforms are also available for your interaction on Facebook at Citizen FM Abuja, on Instagram at Citizen FM 937, and also on Twitter at Citizen FM 937. So that's how it's going to be in the next 50 minutes or thereabout. Dr. Akinreti will try to pick his brains on some key aspects of the just concluded election. Dr. Akinreti, before we even go into the details of issues arising from the election, I want to have your general assessment of the governorship and the assembly election.
Well, Lawrence, I think so far so fair. By now, I think those people who have been obviously discrediting INEC or saying one or two bad commentaries about INEC will now appreciate that, what comes on goes round. The opposition parties are having, their good day in their own areas of strength. And of course, the ruling party has also had its own, good day in their own areas of strength. Yeah, politics is local. That is exactly the scenario that actually played out at the governorship election. People decided on their own to vote for their own person who they believe in their own particular area of state. That would be, what were they able to do, provide democracy to them. People decided on their own to ensure that they get in the best. So that the people would serve their own interests. That's exactly what the person they have voted for. Irrespective of the political party. The last election, Alex Oti had been, he had been around for quite a while. He had contested virtually all the political PDP, Abuja, and then Labour Party now. I'm happy for him because eventually he has been able to realize his lifelong ambition. Alex Oti is a good guy, he's a very nice person on his own. He has quite a lot of integrity. Alex Oti, comes with a lot of resistance. A personality that, obviously, Abia people want, to steer the ship of the state in the next 4 years. So, I'm obviously happy for him. You see, what happened in Enugu also shows that PDP is also a family on the ground. Any day, anytime. That's exactly what I've played out. So, in all these areas, what we have seen is the strength of the political party and the strength of individuals that are contesting the election. So that is what makes what makes the difference now.
Okay, Dr. Akinreti, staying with INEC, some observers have noted that during the yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello?
I can hear you, Dr. Akinreti.
Hello?
I can hear you perfectly, Dr. Akinreti. Okay, maybe we'll need to call you back, Dr. Akinreti. Thank you for staying tuned. It's still Insight on Citizen FM 93.7, and my guest is Dr. Akinreti. We lost him for a moment, but Dr. Akinreti is back on the line. Dr. Akinreti, I'm sure you can hear me now.
Absolutely.
Yes, I was saying, let's stay with INEC, that some observers have noted that during the governorship election, INEC coalition officers were seen to, in some instances, halt the process of collation to investigate some claims. And also, INEC was also noted to have uploaded results in good time. And these were issues that were very contentious during the presidential election.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. See, which each cycle of election, INEC will tend to improve. The presidential election was extremely overwhelming for INEC. And it was also extremely overwhelming because this is the first time you are testing the entire stretch at a go. Now, government election is quite more, it's easier for them because you take each state at its own time. And each of the states are also being allocated in a portion within the technology states. So, and you are dealing with issue one after the other. That's what makes some of this is quite easy. And INEC has also tried to, look at, update their own technology. And of course, did quite a lot of review. What happened to get it wrong? So what do we need to do next? So they work on all these things assiduously, and we can see the gains of this in the last governorship election. And you can also see that the essence of the transparency we are talking about, use of IRA, was extremely prominent this time around. They were uploading the results as the results were coming in from the PU. And so it was also easy for the political parties to compare. And most of the political parties in their situation rooms already know the outcome of this election. So that is one reason why there's not going to be much more litigation in the gubernatorial election and the legislative election as we have seen it. Because the results you have seen on the IRA will also tallies with the results that your agents have already been submitted to you from the polling unit. So if you compare and contrast, you just find that, give or take, INEC, can be given a lot of, quite a good, not even a pass mark this time around, but they perform above average in this gubernatorial election. So that's exactly what we are seeing. There's no system that is perfect. So you get to perfect your system as you move on. And because you also know that the challenge of technology in this part of the world is extremely overwhelming. And we also had the report how even the firewall of the area have so much attacks. People also even try to hack onto the INEC website. Even for gubernatorial election. So these are the result of our own people. Nigerians, we need to understand that we just need to get things right, and we also need to be patient with ourselves. If we don't get things right for the first time, that does not mean we won't get it right the second time. So what INEC have took to us, that yes, we have also tried to ensure that things are working on fine. And you can see that people also have the choice. Democracy is about choice. People have expressed their choice freely, and they are happy about the choice. Where they are not happy about the choice, people have also demonstrated. They have gone to the INEC office to say, no, the result you posted is wrong. It does not tally with the result that we have from our PU. And INEC is also, okay, no problem. We are going to have we'll review it. And what's interesting aspect of this election that we are seeing that the transparency is so clear that even you are trying to play one anti-panty game one or the other, people will get to know. Look at what happened in Adamawa. There are so many versions of the story that come. The result from Thur, we understand that there are 3 results from that particular area, and so it will be a subject of contest at the tribunal. So because a candidate was leading, everybody knows that the virtue of the figures available to the polling agents and at the situation room, all of a sudden something changed. So the result that everybody was also expecting, people have made calculation that give us and this person will win. But all of a sudden, you don't have 3 results from that particular area. That is information available to us anyway. So, but let us see how INEC will be to resolve the issue of Adamawa and the issue of Katsina. So invariably, we could all now see that, yeah.
Okay, Dr. Akinrede, I remember speaking to you after the presidential election, and you told me it was going to be a different ball game when it comes to the governorship election. Now, what determines the difference between that one? I know one is a national election, the other is a local election, but what are the underlying factors that will make the difference?
No, 2 things happened. One, the politics of gubernatorial election is extremely local. People are dealing with somebody they know, somebody they believe will deliver to them, somebody they know have already done something for them before. And so that's exactly what happened. Second thing is the bandwagon effect. There was not a bandwagon effect from the presidential election. But you can see some other states which indeed are battlegrounds all the while. The difference between the leading political parties and the main opposition are within 10 votes, 5 votes, 10,000 votes, 5,000 votes, 3,000 votes, 10,000 votes. And so all these were cancelled out during the gubernatorial election because people on their own, but there are quite a lot of people who did not even vote during the presidential election. But this time around, so a lot of people do vote. There are also some people who they didn't vote after the presidential election. So Lagos is a typical example. People in Lagos, quite a lot of people, I could say, voted based on on sentiment, because the ethnic lines was read up in Lagos, and so they say that I was in Lagos for that election, and I can see some people voted out of anger. Oh well, we don't like the presidential candidate of the APC, but we love this governor, and perhaps we want to defend our territory. That is one of the slogans that most of the polling units that I visited. People are saying, no, this is local, this is for us, we believe in this guy, and we are going to work for him. And no, this is our territory, nobody can come from anywhere to come and take it. So these are kind of the underlying factors that actually changed the template of the gubernatorial election, appropriately. Benue is another very good example. From the beginning, Father Alia had been a thorn in the flesh of the PDP. And so it was so glaring that come rain or shine, even if APC did not win the presidential election in Benue, Father Alia will win the presidential election. And so it was so glaring that you can see. The same thing in Plateau. There is a challenge for APC in Plateau. But because people believe in the Plateau, believe that in the last 7 years, they don't have good governance from APC. And so they were just waiting for the time to get back. And they did that extremely well. Ogun State has been a center of attraction. Ogun State you can see what plays out in Ogun shows that I think that boy is almost a man of destiny because he's almost lost it. And you can see what plays out. If apparently APM led by Amosu had gone the good alliance to PDP, it could have been a goodbye. I mean, that could have killed the dust from the government election. But unfortunately, both of them could not come together. And that's one reason why Dapo was able to survive that tsunami in Ogun. Dapo, also, by now, we'll be thanking his stars that God has also been in that he will come back for a second time. He won that election by whiskers. So he's now going to be extremely careful and work towards dividend of democracy. And another example is Oyo. Yes, Oyo in the presidential election went to PDP, but you can see how things turn around. Seyi Makinde has been on ground. I keep telling people that look, I don't see how Seyi Makinde will lose the election in Oyo State, except something happens. And you can see, because the candidate of APC and the candidate of Accord does not have the charisma, what it takes to defeat a Makinde. You might not like him, right? You might hate him, but the young guy has been able to deliver to people of Oyo. Because Oyo State, I grew up in Oyo State, and each time I traveled, Makinde was able to work effectively to give the people. So he ran the developmental project in Oyo State, and not only in Ibadan, but in all the central districts in Oyo State. He was able to capture the interest of people. He was able to woo them, and that is exactly what he wants. He followed all the development projects of Ajimobi, where Ajimobi left, all the projects Ajimobi left, unfinished. That's exactly what Makinde did on them, and ensure that he finished some of them. One good thing Makinde also did was to now go back to work on the circular road. So he's an entrepreneur, he's a private sector guy. So he decided to forget and brush off all the bureaucracy and then to just match it, because circular road is so significant to the economic nerve center of Oyo State, and in particular. So people appreciate what Seyi Makinde has been able to do. Seyi Makinde learned a lot from development in Lagos, and was able to bring this down to Oyo State, and people appreciate that. Before the election, he opened a 12 plant for the airport in Ibadan, and this is extremely significant because most of the aircraft coming to Ibadan, we have to go in Ilorin or refuel in Lagos, and that's not good enough. So this guy have investment ideas, and he was able to link the major road between all the road and the airport with the expressway along the road. So things counts, and people appreciate some of this because one thing about development is that once you're able to do it, people will feel the impact. So easily you can drive within Iwo Road axis. You can connect the express. From the express now you can come back to Lagos. So, and this is significant. Another thing he was able to do was to light up the entire city of Ibadan.
Okay.
So at night, you will see, yes, people are claiming that, he spent so much on diesel, he spent so much. It doesn't matter. What he has done is he has brought back night lights. So people of Oyo and Ibadan basically decided to pay him back and tried to return him, back to office. So that's exactly what we have done. Nasarawa and Gombe was another state. APC lost the presidential election, but he wanted to bounce back during the gubernatorial election because Nasarawa particularly, the man has been to draw a lot of investors. He was able to cash on the what we can call the population that are moving from Abuja coming to Karu, and it is because Karu has become a very big city. Karu has about almost 3,000 people now, about 300,000 per population. So Karu can compete variably with Lafayette, the capital city. So, and the man has been also because of connection, because he also has a very good private sector background. He has been to bring investment.
Okay, if you're just joining us now, it's still Insight on Citizen FM 93.7, and my guest has been Dr. Oladipo Akinreti, who is the Deputy Director. Akinreti, sorry, who is the Deputy Director, Digital Media, Voice of Nigeria, and is also a former chairman of the Lagos State chapter of the Nigerian Union of Journalists. We are still reviewing the governorship and assembly elections which held on Saturday. Dr. Akinreti, let's look at the legislative arm of government, because I know that most of the time we seem to be focusing on the executive arm. There was an election for the state assemblies, and most of the time, one of the greatest criticisms against states legislature has always been that it's always an appendage of the governor, of the executive arm of government. Is there any chance in the world that we can get it right this time?
Yeah, we will get it right, because we can see in some states, the number of seats won by political parties differs. So there is almost what we call there can be a counterbalance in the assembly, and where you have the majority before, that party has become the minority. Example is Osun State. Another example is even on the state, you know. And then another example can look at is Abia, Imo, and Enugu states. So we now have plurality of political parties in the House of Assembly. And one thing that also strikes me that the different, it's not going to be business as usual in the assembly, in state assembly, because now President Buhari is going to sign on the autonomy of the states and the autonomy of the local governments. And this is extremely important to good governance in that sphere of government. So we are going to see quite a lot of changes right there. However, we are still going to see preponderant influence of the governments in most of these state assemblies. Because especially in some areas, they just have to coast to home. The ruling party, that are in charge. They talk about Yobe, they talk about Katsina, they talk about Borno, they talk about Lagos. Even what do you call it now, on those states. You still have the majority, the ruling party, they are still in control. And the state governor will still take a lot of, make a lot of impact. But what will change now is the fact that the autonomy of the local government has been signed into law. And the autonomy of the states, also of the state has also been signed into law. And we're also having, a very, very, we're going to have a bit of, tremendous development impact this time around. Now, there are some major communities that have been now shown the concurrent needs. They are no longer in the same needs. Electricity, railways. So the state House of Assembly will now be challenged to now come up with laws that will enable the state government, their states, to benefit from the impact of, the electricity at the same time from railways. For example, I don't see any reason why Lagos State cannot bring Aaron back, cannot generate electricity on their own, or River cannot generate electricity on their own. And I don't see any reason why Lagos cannot not invest in railway services. That I think will play a very role. And the state assembly that will have to do the job, because they will have to sign the law that will enable the state to go into these two key areas of economic development in any environment. So it's going to be a different ballgame when you also have, even the number of people that won the election. Some of these personalities have also changed. You now have young people that are now in the state assembly. So they are burning with desires to make a change. And so we are going to see that change that they are going to be clamoring for. And more focus will also be on some of these Labour Party candidates that are able to win the election and to say, we will now see what they are going to do. Seeing is believing. It's a different ballgame when you are outside, when you are making, when you are complaining. But now, when you are now in the saddle, you now find that it's not as easy as you think. But if you are born with ideas on how to move things forward, definitely you can turn things around. So I can see that there's going to be a lot of development in the state House of Assembly this time around. And perhaps, the organic movement of the obedience has changed the temperature, has changed the political calculation. Next 4 years is going to be a different ballgame altogether. If the obedient movement can catch on this opportunity of being together again, they could be able to win. They can win the heart of the people more, and then they can organize themselves together in the community front. But my worry is, will Labour Party remain the same? Because Labour Party was the driving factor who gave them the platform. So my message is whereby parties like YPP can come on the show. Because if Labour Party will not be able to deliver, as I said, these young guys will move away. And because they are organic movement, they can change the calculus anytime, any day.
Okay, Dr. Kinriti, we need to take a short break now. And when we return, we will look at the way forward. Now that the elections are over, what do we do? Insight will return in a moment. Please don't go away.
Rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. This is to inform the general public that the holy month of Ramadan, the month of impactful rewards, and the month of blessings is here again. Therefore, we beseech Muslim faithfuls to sponsor our Ramadan programs such as Call to Prayers, Tafsir Quran, Qira'atul Quran, Ramadan Talks, Women of Jannah, Paradise, specially designed for the Muslimah, Children's Program for our young upcoming Ustaz, Dawn Program, Sahur Special, live on Citizen FM, and many more. Allah says, who will loan Allah a beautiful loan on earth, and Allah will build a house for him or her in Jannah. Talk to us today. Please call 0806 397 7823, 0812 0043990, or 0817 3964218. Let's partner to make it a Ramadan to remember. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim.
Hi, my name is Rita Ezenwa Okoro, the founder and lead visionary of Street Project Foundation. Join the Street Project Foundation ambassadors Fridays, 8:30 a.m. on Citizen FM 93.7. We will be addressing key social issues such as xenophobia, police brutality, religious intolerance, youth profiling, insecurity, and other social issues in our radio drama series titled Omo, This is Real Life. Remember, Fridays, 8:30 a.m. on Citizen FM 93.7.
Investigations, special reports, analysis, and breaking news. Premium Times, a leading multimedia news platform, brings to you every minute stories that helps you make informed decisions and hold public officials, individuals, and organizations accountable. We have cartoons, videos, podcasts, and other interesting content for your delight. For timely update on politics, entertainment, sport, and business, visit our website on www.premiumtimesng.com and follow us on all our social media platforms. Don't miss out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Super Citizen at Sunset on Citizen FM 93.7. This is the fun-packed radio show you heard about. Did you miss any one of our programming today? Join me, Diddy, from the Citizen Pot when we run through our programs from sunrise. Stay abreast, get informed on news roundup. It even gets better. Do you think you know Nigeria? Answer 3 questions correctly and be one of our daily winners on Quizzes. It is the full package. Let's take you back, way back on African vibes. Let's celebrate the African people, the rich cultures across borders, the languages, the good food, and wealth of excellence on African vibes. Join me every Monday to Friday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. It is on Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja.
93.7 Citizen FM.
Let's talk about it on our favorite radio station.
We're more than just a radio station. We are a part of your life.
Thank you for staying tuned. It's still Insight on Citizen FM 93.7. My name is Lawrence Umoette, and we are reviewing the final review of the governorship and state assemblies election. My guest is Dr. Akinreti, who is the Deputy Director, Digital Media, Voice of Nigeria, and a former chairman of the Lagos State chapter of the Nigerian Union of Journalists. Dr. Akinreti, thank you for standing by.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, you can join our live stream on YouTube. Type in Citizen FM 93.7, or you can also listen to us online on www.citizenfm.ng, and also on our social media platforms, 3 of them on Facebook at Citizen FM Abuja, on Instagram at Citizen FM 937, and also on Twitter, Citizen FM 937. And also the phone lines are open. You can also call us on 0903 2229 797 or 0818 2222 205 or 0818 2222 206. And also you can also send us a WhatsApp message on any of those numbers, and we will be glad to take your message. Don't forget, we are reviewing the just concluded governorship election and the state assembly election, and my guest is Dr. Akinriti. Dr. Akinriti, now let's elections are over, at least the voting process. A lot of people have called for a healing process. The president-elect, from the data released by INEC, scored 37% of the votes. So that means 63% of voters did not see him as their choice. So it's going to be a tough one. Where do you think the president-elect can begin this healing process?
Well, he has said it in his first inaugural address after receiving the certificates of return. He said if they're Baptists, if they're Baptified, if they're articulated, if they're obedient, we are one, and let's work together. And it specifically speaks to the minds of the youth, and that is quite instructive. The reality of the matter is that anywhere in the world, for any democracy in the world, it doesn't matter how many people does not, approve of you. But to have a simple majority who approves you to lead them, you move along. All to other people along with you. And I think what will be instructive for Asiwaju now to see how he can be able to turn the table around in terms of economic prosperity for the people, in terms of giving opening up the for young people, for investors, for people to really participate, to really work themselves out and make the gains of the prosperity that resides in Nigeria. There's prosperity in this country. All we need to do is just see somebody that will just engineer, or that somebody with people, or somebody that provides the enabling environment for people ideas to blossom. I think what Ashwa will do, and it's also very significant that his first port of call to the business community was actually those that are providing employment, that are providing employment for people. Those that have been providing now and continue to provide employment now. That was his port of call. He went to Aliko Dangote, to visit Aliko Dangote. He went to visit Elumelu. He went to visit Otedola. These three guys are the one now, oscillating the economy. They are the one oiling the economy today. They are the one in the saddle of employment. They are the one employing people in their various, industries or in their various callings. And people identify that. And the president also identified that these are the critical people that I need to jumpstart this economy. And what is going to help him again is the series of, innovation momentum that the current president has taken, signing into law, breaking down the chains, locking down, opening up the economy in the areas of energy and transportation. And I know Asiwaju will lash on this appropriately. He has done it in Lagos. He opened up the economy in Lagos. He also opened the transport sectors in Lagos. And that, I think, now that the power is being returned to the states, the power that would have been an executive list has been now the concurrent list. So it means both the state and the federal can participate effectively in opening up the economy. This, I think, once the president-elect are able to unlock the potential in the economic sphere, every other thing will fall in line. Look, nobody cares about where it comes from. Nobody cares what product you belong to. Once you can put food on the table, once you can provide employment for the people, once people can be engaged, other things are secondary. And that's exactly what I see, coming as these are lower hanging fruit for the president-elect. And I'm sure we're going to tap onto this. Once, the last thing you also need to do is to, there should be a high sense of belonging. and I know actually you can do it, is to bring the people of the Southeast together. But first of all, identifying the agitations and resolving the conundrum, Kanu conundrum. If the present agitation, the current agitation cannot solve that problem, the first thing the president-elect was able to do is to ensure that he released this guy. He has to find a political solution to the issue of Nnamdi Kanu, so that the people of the Southeast can be abreast with us, can be in tune with us. And I know this will be just taking his mind. He was able to do that when he was in Lagos. When the issue of the OPC was at the zenith, he was able to calm them down. When the issue of Hausa people and Igbo also in Lagos there, Ashimoti was there to provide leadership to ensure that things work out. That's why today there is no much of ethnic clashes in Lagos as it used to be in those days.
Okay,
that is the question you actually just work on. I think you can use that for Nigeria. That will help him. Okay. What are the issue of education? Okay. And then move on to drive the economy.
Dr. Akinreti, there are others who believe that the major players are still bitter about the outcome of that election. Do you think there can really be any healing before the courts dispense with the petition?
No. You see, in democracy, one aspect, one pillar of democracy is the adherence to rule of law. Now, those who are aggrieved have gone to the courts. Let them go and settle their matter in the courts. But that does not stop personal engagements, which I think, at the background, this is being done by the president-elect through, some from the various groups. But one thing about the president-elect, I assure you, what I know about him, he doesn't make noise. There are certain things he will be doing at the background until he was able to achieve, success. That's why it's going to come out. That is what players in Lagos. When he keeps engaging individuals, you would not know. But when he was able to achieve his aim, he will come out and tell you, we're gently, this is how far we have gone. We're able to do this, we're able to do that. That, I think, is already going on. The consideration is going on a little bit. But the reality on ground is that those who feel strongly aggrieved still have the opportunity to go to court and ventilate their anger. And that is exactly what has happened. But the reality on ground, because the issue is not something we can't discuss it. I look at some of those issues that were raised, in the petition that are begging. Well, what you must know about election tribunal or petition is that they have to be extremely substantial to vitiate, the outcome of that election. So if you are not put substantially in what has happened, as it's quite enormous, and we affect, the last counts or the pronouncements, I do not think much more that. But the reality is good. It's an opportunity for you to go there and say, yes, this is what I have, these are the proofs that I have. But the reality is that the Baptists have been debattified, the president-elect, group, which will not go to sleep. They are also doing their own calculations. They are also armed to teeth on how they are going to defend their mandate. This mandate, one need to understand this. It was not freely given. It was a contest. And the reality is that in any contest, there must be a winner or a loser, either one way or the other. So when the reality is down on you, that look, how much is next 4 years? It's not too long ago. Yes, let's go back to the drawing board and see what we can do. If the reality done on whoever has gone to court, that will be fine. But the blenders of opinion is that, let them go to court. Let us see what is going to happen. Let them go to court. Let's see what's going to happen. But I think we are going to have more interesting days ahead. But one good thing about this particular situation is that everything will have to be resolved before May 29th. So that makes it quite interesting.
Okay, Doctor, thinking about going back to the drawing board, will it also be too early to ask the political parties to go back to the drawing board, especially when it comes to respect for internal democracy?
That is quite obvious. They must not plan their lesson one way or the other. I mean, the greatest challenge the PDP has was having challenge with its internal crisis. It couldn't crisis. So the party was fractured down the line. There are four factions within PDP going into that election. And so there can't be. I can't foresee any miracle for the PDP, bouncing back anyway, even winning that election. I told you, we had this conversation before the election that if PDP cannot resolve its internal rankings, internal squabbles, it's quite difficult for them, to make way. To make headway during the presidential election, and that's exactly what has happened to them. The same thing happened in the gubernatorial election for PDP in most of their states. I told you that Peter Obi would eat someone will cash on the liabilities of the PDP, and that's exactly what has happened. Those states that the Labour Party won are states that are being controlled by the PDP. That's the reality. Look at Abia. Abia will be for PDP now to Labour. So that's the situation. So the PDP suffered, hemorrhage from the division, internal division of that political party. But the APC will also learn good lesson on their own too. Because those areas they've also lost, which are traditionally their stronghold, because of the internal squabble within their political party. That's what has happened. Look at Zamfara, for example. Look at even Kashmir in the election. Look at Sokoto. But the good thing about that, Sokoto has come back into their saddle now. And that has to do because they were able to resolve. PDP had internal problem in Sokoto State. And APC cash on that in Sokoto State. And so we have not seen the result. And the area of interest is Kebbi. APC also has internal squabbles in Kebbi State. And that is why that election has gone to being conclusive now. Ordinarily, Kebbi should have been a very good area for APC just to collect the trophy, but finding it very, very intractable now because of internal rankings. The political parties have learned their big lesson now. But as I told you, I also think that Labour Party also suffered in Lagos. It's only because of the organic movement that was what has been then the horizon. Ordinarily, Labour Party is also factionalized down to line. They have the same problem. At national, they have the same problem. But that's why I don't want to talk much about the petition of the Labour Party in court. This part of internal crisis will see haunted at the tribunal. And we will have time to also analyze this because there are so many issues that even surround the candidacy of their presidential candidate too. There are so many issues that are surrounding it. So if some of these issues that can pick up at the tribunal can be recorded too, my brother, honestly, I don't see a winning streak from that position. But it's up to them. Let the court decide. But the reality on ground is that all the major political parties have the greatest challenge with internal squabbles.
Exactly.
It's better for them now to go back to the drawing board and sort themselves. If they don't sort themselves out, in the next 4 years, we are going to have a redefinition of the political landscape in Nigeria. This 2023 election has changed the political landscape, the political map. And so, going forward in 2027, if care is not taken, the map will be changed again if the political party did not solve their problems. And again, if the internal score is also solved, it will also affect the candidacy of the speaker and the Senate president. So APC will have to come on board, sort themselves out, and you can present the United Front. If they don't do that, in this because of opposition parties will come together, they could just do what happened in case of Sharaki. So they really need to watch it because the internal squabble in the APC is still pestering. And one of the things that the president will have to do is to own that party, is to redirect the party machinery. And I can assure you, the president will do that. He has done it before. I think he will also be able to deliver on this. He must be able to bring his party together. It's very important so that he will be able to move on, to move on in an accelerated rate.
Okay, Dr. Kirede, I'll have to let you go now. Thank you so much for your interventions. We really found them very refreshing. Thank you so much, Dr. Kirede, Deputy Director,
Digital
Media, Voice of Nigeria. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, because when we have a country, that is where all of us can participate and blossom.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kinriti. And that's a package on Insight today. The program will return on Monday when we will now beam the searchlight on the challenges of the elected officials at different levels. What are the expectations from Nigeria? So we'll look at the federal level and even at the states and even, at the state assemblies and so many other officers that have been elected by Nigerians to provide direction and service. So Monday will be the next edition of Insight. My name is Lawrence Umoette. Enjoy the rest of your day. News on the Hour comes up at 11 o'clock.
.7 Citizen FM.